The Los Angeles housing market is doing crazy things heading into 2025. And if you're a home buyer or investor, you need to understand the data I'm about to show you in this video. As you can see, folks, that home values in LA continue to go up. They're up by 5.6% over the last year, with values on a zip code level surging the most in Orange County, where they're up by almost double digits. And these values continue to go up across LA and Orange County due to a shortage of inventory. There simply is not enough supply on the market. Let's take a look at this, everyone. In Orange County right now, there's 3,600 homes actively for sale. This inventory level of 3,600 homes is still about only half what it was before the pandemic. So while there's been an improvement in listings and supply that you guys might have noticed on the ground in Orange County over the last year, we're still not high enough to bring about price declines. And the reason that supply is still limited in the LA and Orange County area is because of the mortgage lock-in effect. Number one, lots of people have 3% mortgages in the LA metro and don't want to sell. But number two, there's very little new home building and development. The builders more or less ignore Los Angeles and Orange County at this point due to a lack of space and unfriendly building permit regulations. The result is that Orange County pulled a minuscule 2,700 single-family building permits last year. This is way down from the historical norms. Back in the early 2000s, they were pulling over 6,000 per year. Now it's only 2,700. However, I do have some positive news for you, though, if you're a buyer in Southern California. That's the fact that I do think prices are actually going to get at least a bit more affordable over the next year. I think we are starting to see some softening pockets in different parts of this Southern California area, and we are actually seeing values go down in certain zip codes, believe it or not. If I go here on Reventure app and just type in Los Angeles, we can open up the zip code view, and it's this zip code view that gives you huge insight. If we look at home value growth year over year, we can actually see, look at this, everyone. Values in West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, all the way to downtown LA are actually going down. So we have declining values here in this part of LA, stretching all the way to out to Malibu and Pacific Palisades. However, values are going up pretty much everywhere else. Up in Burbank, they're going up. Out in Pomona, they're going up. In Yorba Linda, they're going up. And I think these differences in value direction reflect what happened during the pandemic. So a lot of people left this area of LA during the pandemic and moved to these more suburban locations. We're seeing that now influenced in the home price growth. And really, if you're a buyer or an investor who wants to project where prices are heading into the future in your area of LA or California, there's only really 3 data points you got to pay attention to. Number 1 is the inventory. Number 2 is the price cuts. Number 3 is the days on the market for your city and zip code. If you know those 3 data points, you will have clear insight into what's going on in your local neighborhood so you can make a more educated decision as a buyer investor. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'm going to show you some of my projections for LA and Orange County over the next year by revealing the Reventure app home price forecast score. And really, it's the areas in blue, which I'm forecasting to go down over the next 6 months or 12 months. And it's the areas in red that I'm still forecasting to increase. So you want to understand what it looks like for your zip code. But let's just, open up one of these areas in Hollywood so you guys can see. We talked about how values are already going down in Hollywood, 90038. And so you can see recent appreciation has a low score. But in addition, inventory has a low score too, because there's a lot of homes here on the market. We're above the long-term inventory average. In addition, the days on the market in the zip code is also above the long-term average. And so when you have that situation of high DOM, high inventory, another metric we look at is the price cut rate. When the price cut rate is above the long run average, that's also a signal of a softening market. And so you really get a flavor for how sellers are feeling and how buyers are behaving with these data points. And we roll all of these data points into one score on Reventure app called the home price forecast score, ranked from 0 to 100. If the score is below 50, that's more indicative of a declining market. You can also see it for every metro in California as well as every area in America, so you can get a better sense of how home prices are trending nationally. But before you go do that, I want to talk about some of the housing market history in Southern California, because if you want to be an informed buyer, you got to understand the history. And I think one thing that bugs me about when I hear people talk about Southern California real estate is I hear people say home values never go down in Southern California. And I see a lot of realtors say that. I see a lot of mortgage brokers say that. I see a lot of investors in LA, Orange County, and San Diego try to claim that home prices never go down. And you can let me know in the comment section below if you've heard someone tell you that before if you're in Southern California. However, that's not true. Home values are actually quite volatile in Southern California. It's one of the most volatile housing market, real estate markets in America. And in fact, if you go back to the last crash from 2007 to 2012, you can see that home values went down a massive 38% in the LA Orange County metro. Like they went down 39% in Los Angeles, 34% in Orange County. They went down 36% in San Diego, and they went down 53% in Riverside. So, folks, this is actually an area of America with a lot of historical home price downside. There was also an early 90s downturn that hit Southern California. It wasn't quite as severe as the mid 2000s downturn, but prices went down about 20% in the early 90s. And so, yes, there's a lot of historical precedent to say that home values should drop in Southern California. And I think the best argument for that right now is just how expensive they are, right? The typical value of a house in Orange County is over $1 million at this point, or close to $1 million. And that's just for the standard house. That's not anything nice. That's like a 3-bed, 1.5 bath that's 1,400 square feet in Tustin. That's $1 million, right? And so how many people actually have the money to afford those payments? It's not very many, because the median income levels in Southern California, are certainly above the US average. In Orange County, the median income is $112,000, but that's still resulting in a massive 10.2 home value to income ratio. And so Orange County, it's one of the most expensive housing markets in America, not only just on nominal price, but on price relative to income. You can actually see that if we look at counties with a minimum population of 200,000, Orange County is number 6 in terms of most expensive home value to income ratio, behind only New York, as well as some areas in Northern California. You can also see LA is number 9 at 9.9 home value to income. And so that's telling you that the local buyers are really stretched in Southern California, and that we actually don't have much historical precedence of these levels lasting. Like in Orange County, the last time we were ever this high relative prices to income was 2006, when we were at a 9.6 home value to income ratio, and then we had a big crash where prices got cheaper. And so another way, if you're trying to judge the housing market and if prices are too expensive, if you should wait or buy, look at this home value to income ratio and look at it compared to the long-term norm, right? The long-term norm in Orange County is a 7.9 home value to income ratio over the last 20 years. Today it's 10.2. That's telling you there is a bit of a bubble here, and that home prices are about 30% overvalued. In Orange County, they're only 15% overvalued in LA. So interesting. LA not as overvalued as Orange County, probably because a lot of people moved from LA to Orange County during the pandemic. And so if you're a buyer in Southern California, here are the things you need to watch out for entering 2025. You need to watch out for the inventory in your zip code. Look at the monthly inventory, and if you see it going up, that's a signal things are going to get better for you as a buyer. However, if you see that inventory still really low, it's a signal that it's going to be tough for you as a buyer. There's going to be more bidding wars. So know the inventory levels so you can get a better sense of how the market's trending. You can see in this zip code in Orange County, 97280, boy, we have a big shortage. If you see this in your zip code, home price forecast is going to be up. And I would really recommend you check out that home price forecast score for your city and zip code. You can access that score by signing up for a monthly pass on Reventure app. It's a premium data point, $39 a month. Or if you're someone who has a more long-term perspective on this housing market, you're going to be checking for a couple months, maybe 3 to 6 months, sign up for that annual pass. You'll save 15% on the monthly cost, dropping it from $39 to $33, so you can have this data available to you every single month so you can make a more educated decision. You also get access to downloadable market reports, 60 downloadable market reports per year with this annual pass. This is a great feature for realtors and investors, especially. For every zip code in California, hit that download report button. You'll get a PDF with the home price forecast data.